Hi, everybody. This is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hut, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut, too. Hope you like this video and subscribe. I would say that I really love it when I do videos on the media. It's fun. And hopefully you like this video. We talk about how the media basically made fools of themselves and basically jerked around the entire baseball community with their trying to be first with the news of Shohei Ohtani going to Toronto. He did not go to Toronto. Did you know that? He didn't go to Toronto. And one of their own has called him out as Bob Nightingale. They say a broken clock, gets things right once or twice a day. And Bob Nightingale's one of those types when it comes to his predictions and his little I would mention that this is not an exact science where players get moved, but I would say this stuff that happened and following this plane to Toronto was the biggest bunch of nonsense. I said he wasn't going to be signed. He wasn't going to sign on Fridays. He was going to sign on Saturday. I turned out to be right. Well, they'll call me the great one for nothing. But here we have from awful announcing. Bob Nightingale says baseball writers have become an embarrassment to the journalism community. Okay. The journalism community is an embarrassment. This is nothing. This is what's funny is that the overall mainstream media, they're all embarrassing. All of them. Every single one of them. They're lazy. They don't follow up. They make stuff up. And they know they do. They come up with lousy information, and the information they put out there is garbage. I would say that probably what happened on Friday was that the Dodgers were probably balking at the money that Ohtani was looking for. And the agent probably created a story saying that he was flying to Toronto to make them jump. And that's probably what happened. We have made fools of ourselves plenty of times before in the history of baseball media. But we have taken this to new heights. Okay. USA Today's Bob Nightingale is known for his baseball reporting and columns. But he's apparently now diving into a media critic role as well. Nightingale played a key role in the Shohei Ohtani reporting Friday, pushing back on John Morosi's report that Ohtani was en route to sign with the Toronto Blue Jays, with Ohtani's not on a flight to Toronto, and Ohtani is at home in Southern California. And Nightingale's pushback proved to be right. Morosi later recanted his report, and Ohtani, they were following a plane, folks. Everybody was following, but I was like, I got stuff to do. I'm not a Blue Jays fan. Mets weren't going to sign him. And then good thing they didn't sign him to that money. I think Mets weren't to sign him. He had no interest in coming here. But the ridiculousness of I would mention Ball Cap Sports. He did great. I'm sure he made a lot of money, got a lot of subs. But if you're a Blue Jays fan, you're watching this, you must be completely destroyed after not getting this guy. And who's you gonna settle for? Cody Bellinger? Jorge Soler? Really, what are they going to settle for? And on Sunday, Nightingale weighed in. All that in strong terms, using his column to say, we baseball writers have disgraced ourselves, becoming an embarrassment to the journalism community. That piece sees Nightingale blast both the Ohtani reporting, also the reporting on his own exchange, Chicago Cubs president Jed Hoyer, after one of his reports didn't pan out. Here's some of what he has to say about the Ohtani saga. Quote, we have made fools of ourselves plenty of times before in the history of baseball media. Anywhere from criticizing the integration of the sport to calling Ohtani a fraud in his first spring training, we have taken this to new heights. Now, I would mention, always ask questions about Ohtani. This has never been done by Ohtani. What he's doing now. So always question how he's able to do what he's able to do. How's he able to recover? There's nothing wrong questioning something that has never been done. It was reported early Friday that Ohtani's decision was imminent. Well, that was news to Ohtani and his agency, who had a private appointment later in the day and knew there would be no announcement. Ohtani was still sleeping at his home in Newport Beach when the flight took off. But that didn't stop Fury's reporting, with TV and radio reporters tracking the flight in real time, and also podcasts and YouTubers. I, who was ahead of the curve, did not do that. because I think that's ridiculous. I mean, if you're going to do that, let's follow Ohtani around. I mean, this is like as bad as ridiculous. It's a lot less exciting than the OJ chase. I will say that. I met many years ago. Nightingale makes some valid points there, including that part of the challenge in free agency reporting is that teams can't officially say anything until players pass their physicals. He's also likely right that much of the news out there comes from particular players' agents to particular starters. In fact, he claims that that's 95%, maybe higher, of where that kind of news comes from. And Nightingale's right that the coverage of the Ohtani saga Friday got somewhat out of hand. You think so? That saw reports from both J.P. Hornstra and Morosi eventually proved false. And I saw too much attention being given to a plane that ultimately held Shark Tank star Robert Herjavec. Beyond that, Nightingale had maybe even more interesting comments on the Hoyer saga. There he admits his own reporting shortcomings, but takes issue with how his discussion with Hoyer was characterized elsewhere, including a stern exchange by ESPN's 1000's Jesse Rogers. He also said the exchange here was about his report that the Cubs, Christopher Morel, surfaced in trade talks with the Braves for Tyler Glasnow, not his report that the Cubs had balked at Ohtani's price tag of 10 years and at least $500 million that many had assumed was at issue. Here's some of what Nightingale has to say on his conversation with Hoyer and how it was covered. Well, we don't care about that. Who cares? Who cares how these guys interact with the executives? I mean, really, who cares, to be honest with you? Again, a lot of this stuff, this media and the media in general, they're lazy. That's what it comes down to. To follow a plane and say that a specific person's on that plane is ridiculous. And you saw how ridiculous it was when it turned out it was not Shohei Ohtani. It was somebody else who was an actual celebrity. That's funny. But as your host, I have integrity. I do? Wait a minute. I mean, the one thing you can say is if you're honest with your audience, that's really the thing you need to be. If you're honest with what you're saying and that you're coming from a good place, then you're fine. A lot of these guys are competing with each other. I'm not competing with them. So my attitude is pretty much, I'm not in competition with them. I would mention that last year, someone I know told me that, it's just an example, that the Mets were not going to get Billy Beane to be in their front office. I got that from a source of mine, believe it or not. And he was somebody that knows the family. And I said that they weren't going to get him. And it took about a week after that for the media to find out that was true. So you don't have to get things, you don't have to get the truth from the media. The media, they compete with each other. And not only do they compete with each other, but they also brag to each other. They're like every other person. I beat you. Why do you think they're always crediting each other on Twitter? It's basically just their way of sort of, waving at each other. Look what I did. Look, hey, look at that, I mean, it's all about competing with each other and telling them who's first. And it's like the regular media. They want to be first. They don't care what the truth is. They have a story they want to stick to, and that's it. No. But this will happen again. I mean, this is how the media... I would say, this is not a science. Predicting where a person's going to go on a plane or to a team or just leaving their house is an unpredictable thing unless you absolutely know, absolutely talk to the person that you're talking about. You're never going to know. Well, let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to Baseball Hut 2, and I'll see you later.